Could you explain a little bit about when you say vulnerable to climate change, what is it that creates the vulnerability, or how do you define vulnerability?
Well, the vulnerability is defined by the amount or the risk of population decline by mid-century. So it's not looking really far off into the future. You're looking 15, 20, 25 years into the future. And what's the likelihood, based on these different factors, that the population is going to decrease, and how much is it going to decrease over that time?
So what are the climate factors that you're concerned about? I mean, this, I assume, presupposes that climate change will or is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can explain a little bit more about that. What changes? What
So
are the changes you're worried about?
The changes that we would be worried about here in Michigan, based on, there are a variety of different climate models that have been done, some by Massachusetts, MIT, some have been done by different academic institutions. And if you look at the average of all of those, where they agree, here in Michigan, we're probably looking at something around by mid-century, looking at something around a 5-degree Fahrenheit increase in temperature, which is a big deal for some species and not a big deal for other species. And then we're also looking at probably a drying of the soils, which is a bigger deal for more species.
Okay. So what you just said about mid-century, 5 degrees on average warmer,
yeah,
on average drier soils, based on the current amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, or what does?
So yes, there's about a 50-year time lag to the warming of the climate based on the emissions that we have. And so what we'll be seeing by mid-century is really already locked in by what we were putting in the atmosphere over the last 10 or 20 years.
Okay.
So there's really not, even if we changed all our patterns now, it wouldn't have an effect until 50 to 100 years from now, which is when we expect to see the more destabilizing or more significant impacts from climate change.